Hey everybody, Alvinator here from Mulligans and Hackers Golf, and today on episode 52 of our podcast, we have Courtney Campbell. How you doing?
Hello. Hey, good. How are you?
Courtney is a golf instructor and PGA of Canada golf professional, correct?
That's right. I'm a head professional at Glen Eagles Golf Course in West Vancouver.
Nice. We're just next door in Alberta, so we're provincial neighbors. So, Courtney, let's go back. What's your background in golf? Did you start it at an early age? And kind of give us a run through of how someone goes through the process of becoming a PGA of Canada golf professional. That's something I was really interested in to find out what that process is because I'm sure it is a process. So
Yeah,
give us a little bit of background on your golf. And
absolutely. Well, I'm a transplant to BC from Ontario. So I was born and raised in just outside of Peterborough, Ontario, and I started golf through my grandfather actually. So I was about, I would say, 11 years old when I first picked up the golf club because of him. He was chipping in our backyard, and at the time I was really focused into hockey. So that was my number one sport at the time. And then when he put the golf club in my hands, he's Scottish. He said, "Hold it like this and put it here. Okay, we're gonna go shoot there." And I just hit the ball and I hit it really well. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Now what do we do?" And he's like, "Okay, well, let's get you into some lessons." So we went up to our local club and I had lessons with the professional there. And he saw something in me and was like, "Hey, let's keep this girl going. How about I give her lessons and she can help me with the juniors?" And so from there, with my professional mark, we just created this relationship where I go out for a lesson every once in a while, and then on the golf course with my grandfather. And at the time, there weren't any girls, maybe two of them, and a lot of junior boys. So I was playing with a lot of boys and my grandfather's friends just to get me out on the golf course.
cool. So
Yeah.
so were you hooked into golf then? Were you a golf um, were you addicted to golf at that point? And did you go through any high school golf, college type golf as you grew in the game?
So at that point, because I was getting pretty successful on the range and getting some attention, like anybody, I'm very athletic and I was in school for all sports. So name one, I was playing at lacrosse, hockey, basketball, baseball, anything that I could get my hands on. So if I could improve at something like golf, which I found really hard, but also rewarding, then I was going to do it. So they started pushing me into junior golf tournaments and being one of the only girls when I'm walking away with a new golf bag and three head covers and a new putter. I was like, this is great. Oh my God, I'm winning everything. The KP, the long drive. I'm shooting like 98, but I'm still winning. I'm like, I'll take this. So I kind of progressed that way. And then once I hit high school, I started playing some high school golf. And then I kind of hit the brakes after that. So I did a little bit of a career pause and halt because I wanted to see what else was out there away from my hometown. So I actually put hockey and golf on the back burner and just stopped. So I never played collegiate level golf. I played high school and through the junior tour, and then I hit pause maybe for 2.5 years, where then I walked into a pro shop up in Muskoka and landed a job as a golf clerk assistant to one of the club link courses. And from there, I had an awesome team of guys that were like, "You can play. Why don't you become professional?" And I was like, "Well, what does that mean?" He's like,
Yeah, exactly. What
"Yeah."
does that mean, right?
I was like, "What does that mean? I know you're a pro and you're a pro, but what does that like? What does that get me?" So they're like, "Oh, well, you can run this golf course and you can be more of a club professional or teaching professional. And then you get to help others with their game, maybe run a facility. You could be a GM." So I was like, okay. And at the time, the career path that I was taking was in a justice study program and it wasn't really fitting my personality at the time. So I was like, I think I'll give this a shot. So I worked on it the whole year on my game. And PGA Canada at the time needed me to have a four handicap. So I worked my way down. And then I went and did my PATs, which is the playability test. So 2 rounds of golf back then. I think it was under 78 for both rounds, 78, 79 for women. And I missed my first one by one shot. And then the next week, you're allowed to pay in to do two tries per year. And then the next week, I went out and I secured it. And I remember the guy watching me. I hit this huge putt and it went right in. And he's like, holy, if you had missed that, you would have missed the whole thing again. He's like, I'm so happy you sunk that. And I was like, oh, all right, here we go. So that was kind of my journey in. So I was 19 then, 19, 20 when I turned professional. So that kind of obviously outed me from all collegiate level playing, because then I found myself having to go back to school to Georgian College to finish off in golf management to kind of secure the business aspect of what I needed to become a professional.
So you need that side of it as well,
Yes,
the
yeah.
education side of it as well.
Education, and then you would go through all your courses as well. At the time, there were 4 levels that I had to complete. So you attend like 3-day workshops, and then that's more education pieces as well. So you're going through this big process. Now it takes a good couple of years to finish it,
Wow.
because you're learning all aspects of golf facilities, because it's not just this is how you operate in a golf shop, and this is your inventory. There's turf management. There's the business side. There's accounting. So you're learning all these different pieces about being a golf professional, as
Wow.
well as teaching.
So
Yeah.
it is quite a process.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And and then from there, after I secured it, Muskoka, I don't know if you know Ontario super well. The season's super short. We kind of ended and wrapped up in October. And at the time, I was a server while I was going back to school. And when that finished, I was like, oh, I don't want to do this half job. I'd love to like move somewhere where that's year round. So that's where I applied for a job here, at Capilano Golf Country Club, and I had worked there as an assistant and then turned into a Class A associate, um, in 2011.
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's quite an interesting
big story.
journey there. Yeah. Wow. Um, Not, and again, being relatively new to the golf world, understanding how that becoming a PGA golf professional, not really knowing anything about it, that is quite a process. Now that you say it, there's the golf aspect of it and the educational aspect of it.
Yeah,
But I bet once you're done, and now like you move to BC, where you know I can be a little bit jealous of the weather part aspect of where you are, because here we only get our 6 months of golf, and then it's 6 months
yeah.
of absolute chaos when it comes to weather. Because I think we're here now in southern Alberta. We're into our fifth spring, so today as we're recording, it's 16, and it was 16 yesterday, 18 today, but on Wednesday it was 4 degrees. We had a tee time booked. We did not get that one in. Actually, we had 2 tee times this week canceled because
Oh
the
wow.
temperature didn't get above 5. So this weekend is
No.
pretty good. So I'm hoping that this fifth spring that we've had is our spring into summer instead. But we still have May long coming, so
Oh, there you go.
we still have the opportunity to have a nice dump of snow in May
A
long weekend
snow.
here.
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully not, because I think I've been at the golf course 9 times now.
oh wow.
In our the fourth spring we got some time in. The fifth spring here we got some time in. So I'm hoping that we're in spring now going to summer, because
Yeah,
here in southern Alberta. I mean, if you're sick of the weather, just wait 5 minutes because it'll change.
it will change.
But
Well,
so out
it's
there where you are in Vancouver, uh,
mhm.
are the courses open all year round?
Oh yeah, yeah. So my facility, so Vancouver, there's rain or sun or sometimes snow. This year we maybe got 2 weeks of snow. This year was light on the snow. The local mountains did take a hit from that, but other years we could get dumped on. But definitely a lot of rain. The facility that I'm running right now, I mean, we were talking before about COVID. COVID made golf cool again, which is amazing. But also my time during COVID, whereas you might not have seen anybody, I saw like hundreds of people through the door or a screen. So I was mentally exhausted, and I'm assuming other professionals were as well, because it was the only place where people could actually like get outside to enjoy being outside and that connection to somebody else that they might meet out on the tee. So our rounds of golf, I think now as a 9 hole facility, we're up to like 62,000 per year. And
Wow.
I do remember this in this December 19th. It was the nicest day, and my tee sheet can hold 184 people a day. Guess what it held? 184 people
184.
that day. I was like, where are you coming from? This is wild.
So what
So
you're saying is now here if we're here in Alberta and during the winter months, if we're not getting out to the sims, because here simulators are huge now.
Yes.
But
Oh, yeah.
so like even here in our little city of Medicine Hat, there's every golf course has a simulator running throughout the winter now, and we have
Yeah.
two standalone simulator places where
Oh,
they're
wow.
where they're just simulator buildings,
Cool.
and they run leagues all year long, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of here. But if we wanted to get outdoors and play golf, we need to take a trip from here to
Yes.
Vancouver, and we can play golf in the
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just bring a rain jacket just in case, and then and some boots, and away you go. Yeah.
awesome,
Our
awesome.
our course is I love my staff and my volunteers, and they do such an amazing job because it is a public facility, and the municipal staff only have about 5 guys, but we do an awesome job as a community to like go out and fill divots at the beginning of the year, and just like the course maintenance and the community around my golf course and how thriving it is. It's just a really cool place, busy place
That in
to be.
itself is rewarding
Yeah,
as well, right? For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So we started our golf journey the last 3 years. We were members at an executive course here because here in our little city we have in our suburbs that we have kind of around the little areas we have around here like Redcliffe, Desert Bloom. We have
Yeah.
5 golf courses
Okay.
and a 18 hole par 3 course. So
Nice.
we started at a par 66 executive course. There was only one par 5 on it, more par 3s. So we played there for the last 3 years. So this year
Okay.
we've actually progressed up to Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club. It's a par
Oh, good.
72. Uh,
Nice.
I think we played from the Whites, which is the first tee box in from the tips,
Yes.
6,400 yard type thing. So now we're into the big boy course, and again, our
Nice.
games are progressing to where we can actually. Yesterday I played and I shot an 87 yesterday, so
Nice job.
that's my first time breaking 90 this year on a
Oh,
full 18. So
very good.
we're running like 14 handicaps right now. I'm at my
Okay.
lowest index I've ever been at, which is 14.2. And this year we've joined the Alberta Golf Tour. So me and Chris, my buddy that's not here right now because he's at another volleyball tournament, we're going to go and participate in a couple of amateur tour events. That's like
Awesome.
this is our 4th year. Now we're progressed to the big boy course. Now we're going to do some of those because it's all for us now. It's all about
Yeah.
experiences, right? What
Yeah.
experiences do you get in the game of golf? Because maybe in the past I haven't really the other endeavors I was in. Maybe I never got out of it what I wanted. But now that we're on this journey of golf, because it's that sport where it's yours. Uh, I'll give you a little bit of my insight as a new golfer guy, and I don't know how many years I can play this before I can say I'm new at this, but
Yeah.
you can play this game, and even at my age, which is I'm not a young man anymore, but I can still get better at this game. The more work you put into it, the better you can get at it, and I can play this game now until I literally physically can't play this game anymore.
Yeah.
So I think this game
Absolutely.
has given me a lot of insight into growing yourself as a I won't say athlete, but as involved in the game.
Hmm.
The more effort you put into it, the better you can get. And again, since we started 3 years ago to where we are now, the course that we're playing, that we're members at now, Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club, we used to play that one kind of in between our small par 66 executive course events, and that course was
Yeah.
totally 100% intimidating.
Yeah.
The first hole's a par
For
5,
sure.
dog leg right around the driving range,
Oh, wow.
and it was the most intimidating first hole that I've ever
That's
played in my
wild.
life. But last year we seen where we could actually get around that course decently. Like
Hmm.
we weren't those guys picking up the clubs at Walmart and going and playing, right? We could
Yeah.
actually navigate our way around. Yeah, you know what? We had double bogeys, triple bogeys, but our tee to greens, we weren't holding anyone up. And that's a big thing
Yeah.
for me is like, we're not up anyone's rear or nobody's up our ass, even the way
Yeah.
we're playing, pace of play type thing. But we get around the
Right.
course and we go, you know what? That wasn't so bad. So this year, now that we're there and we're there we play golf a lot. So we're there 4 or 5 times a
Yeah.
week.
Oh, good for you.
Once the warm weather really sets in, look out,
Once it starts, yeah.
it's go time then.
Yeah.
But like the nines I've been playing, I'm in the low 40s, 44s. I started walking more this year, so I bought an electric golf cart. Again, it's all these processes for guys getting into the game saying, "Well, I want to walk more," because again,
Hmm.
getting in that golf shape is really important for me. So I hate pushing a golf cart. It's one of the
Yeah.
things I despise the most. So I got an electric golf cart, and that is a game changer for me. Like I went out
So you can
yesterday.
send the beers over to your buddies on your cart.
Well, that's something. It's funny because we don't drink beer on the golf course. Like we're
Okay.
we're totally
You're
there to play golf.
good.
Like
Yeah.
I've played probably over 300 rounds, in the three and just starting the fourth year, and
Yeah.
I think I've probably had about half a dozen beer in those like 300 rounds. We
Yeah.
just that's not what we
It's
go to the
just
golf
you're
course
there to
for.
golf.
We
Yeah.
go there to golf, and my buddy
Good.
Chris and I were. This helps us keep our because I have a competitive edge. Because again,
Yeah.
hockey, I coached it, I played it.
Yeah.
I like to compete, and this has given me that. He's a lot younger than I am, but I can still play with him, and it's this every time we go out, we always match scores, and our Mulligans and Hackers golf tour that we have, where we play the FedEx Kyle, we have championship weekends, like 2-day events. Yeah, it can get competitive. Like there's
It
not a
can
lot
be. Oh yeah.
there's not a
That's
lot of
great.
chatter in the golf carts when we play
Yeah.
because it's game on. So
It's
we've
game.
taken that now to this year to go play some amateur events, which
Yeah.
is that next step because I want to experience tournament golf.
Yeah. That's the
So
next edge. Yeah.
that's the next step, right? And to get your head all wrapped around that, I'm totally stoked because we're less than a month now from our first event, which is actually here in
Great.
Medicine Hat, and we're like just chomping at the bit
Nice.
to just experience it,
Yes.
right? And then
And it's a full experience too.
right, and
And
it's something that we can do now for until literally we can't do this anymore, and that has me so excited for every year to see what new things we're coming up with in this whole world of golf because golf is a global game now,
yeah.
and through this social media stuff we've contacted people like all across the globe, and we just had
Yeah.
Jordan from Odin Golf on, and he was in Germany, and in Germany
Oh nice.
you have to have a license to golf in Germany just like you have to have a driver's license here.
Oh wow.
He's
Yeah.
like yeah, I didn't do that, but
Yeah.
um, those type of things, finding out those type of things, right? And
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of an armchair historian, and I like history. So when I got into golf, I started to do the Masters.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Up
my
there.
favorite tournament of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah. Good.
It's, I'll
Did
have
you
my.
go?
I didn't know. I
Oh,
got
okay.
that. I got
Are
that
you
given
on
to
the
me.
list?
No, I'm not there
You
yet.
gotta put your list. Yeah.
um, but the Masters is my tournament. But we'll never get to play Augusta, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of out of our. But we can play St. Andrews,
Yeah.
the old course. So on our bucket list is to get that trip in with some
Yeah.
guys that go and play St. Andrews, and I mean that'll be some. Again, we talk about experiences. What an experience that would be, right?
Oh yeah.
So again, we could
That's
talk.
on my list.
Oh, for sure. Like, and I mean,
Yeah.
all the guys were like, once we get a couple more years into this golf thing, and bring that
Yeah.
handicap down closer to maybe a single digit, we'll work that
Then
in
you
there,
go
right?
on the tour. See, and it's just like what you said, it's golf is like ever evolving and there's always something new that you get to add to it, whether it be the performance of your game and then kind of facing your fears, getting to the golf course in the first place and making your buddy group and then getting out there, then having security that you know the golf course and your way around, and then progressing to your next levels of like entering a tournament where you're going to be faced with that same fear again and all those same emotions. But then how exciting is it for you afterwards when you're like, yeah, I just did that. That's
Well,
really cool.
we had the president of the Alberta Golf Tour on our podcast, Leah, and she was talking about like when you get up to the tee box, your name is announced and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff, right? And she's like, a lot of people are nervous. I said, I don't think I'm going to be nervous at all. I said, I think I'm going to have to control my excitement
Yeah.
and make sure my excitement doesn't override my mind when it comes to taking that first swing off the tee box because
Oh, yeah.
we've played that course a couple of times and it's more of a linksy style course. It's really a different course to this area. But man, I think I'm going to have to just keep the excitement down. Of, I got to get a recording for our socials
Yeah,
of me
yeah,
getting
do
me and
the
Chris getting our name announced on the first tee, right?
yeah, do
But
it. It actually it feels cool. It's a very cool feeling to experience. It's also some people take it as nerve-wracking. I was just in the pro-am and I was like, okay, I haven't played in a professional tournament in a long time. And I get there and I'm like, I just had the best time. I went birdie, par, par, and I'm like, okay, I went
yeah,
in with no expectations and just let it go. So
we
um
we've played in a bunch of scrambles and stuff like 2 man and 4 man scrambles because again we have a crew that we can pick from, and that in itself, like that's our first experience into playing golf like in those type of tournaments with other people, getting to play with other people. Those are a lot of fun. There's
yeah,
there's a tournament here we play every year, the Halo tournament, and it's something we look forward to every year. Like we already got it on our calendar. Like it's like can't wait for that one. But the amount of
yeah,
tournaments that now, since moving to Medicine Hat, that we're seeing in this city, like now we're like, geez, I'd like to play in that one, and I'd like to play in that one. But it's, now you got to manage your summer. Now you actually have to, get a calendar to go. Okay, well this weekend we're playing
yeah,
this one. This weekend we're playing that, and again,
yeah.
on vacation where I'm away this weekend or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
try.
Get your
We
practice in.
we
When are we
we
playing?
already got the
Yeah.
calendar over there with
When do I
with
see
our
my family? Yeah.
yeah. Because again,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I got a son that's having a baby here in June. It's like, well,
Oh,
so
awesome. Congrats.
it's you definitely got to fit that shit in. But I know in June we've
Yeah.
got 2 events in June, so I'm hoping it all works itself out. But
Yeah.
yeah, but again, this whole golf thing has been an absolute joy, and the
Yeah.
experiences we've had in the first 3 years. If we can even just duplicate that for the next three, wow, what a journey this has been. But
Yeah.
so
That's
now
awesome.
you have the Instagram page, Birdies Babes Golf. Is that it?
Yes. That's right.
So give us a little insight into why you got into that sphere, and where that's going for you.
So Birdies is really about getting women on the golf course, beginner women in a fun, kind of safe environment. I noticed from working at private clubs for years, like 10 years or so, that it was really hard for women to kind of get on the golf course. And especially, sorry,
So I was going to say, is golf intimidating for women getting in this sphere? Because I know some guys feel that way, but a lot of guys just go do it because it's just they don't care. But is the game of golf itself intimidating for women on the entry level?
yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's the not knowing, like where do I go? What clubs do I use? How do I even show up at the golf course? Half the people don't even know that a golf course that's public is open for you to just casually go in and dine there. So there's this kind of stigma around it that it's really like inclusive for just a private setting and that they're not possibly welcome there. So that's the barrier that I've been trying to not that break down. I'm trying to expose that it isn't like, and that there are opportunities for women to get in. They just haven't really been formed that way. And the private club side, not always the most friendly to women, especially the clubs that I've worked at. We're restricted in when we can make tee times. They're half price memberships. I worked at a club where women weren't allowed there on a Wednesday because it was men's day, but yet I stood on the first tee and did the registration. And then when somebody came up, I had a woman come up, I'd have to tell them to go away. So like those little things didn't really make
It's
sense
hard to
to me.
believe that's still around
It
at
is.
this time where we are. That literal stigma of men and women at the golf course, that we're in 2024, and
Yeah.
that's still around. But keep going.
It is, yeah. So with birdies in mind, because I had friends, and I was probably a new mom at the time as well, but my friends wanted to come out and join me, but I wasn't allowed to bring friends out to the golf course. So I was like, okay, I can bring you to a driving range, but that's not the experience you're looking for. You want to get out and enjoy golf like everybody else does. Your 2 hours with your friends, building community, maybe networking, getting exercise, and playing a sport. So I was like, well, how do I do this? So in 2019, it was kind of just before COVID, I started to teach at a, a sports bar here in Vancouver called One Under. And I would do these lesson packages for an hour and a half. And I would teach the girls brand new to golf. And I would give them like pizza, wine, appy, an hour lesson. There was music. So my name was originally Birdies Babes Beats because the beats were the music. because I wanted to invite like a really fun setting. So they would take the lessons. I could barely hear myself. I felt like I was at a nightclub, but the girls left having a great time. And then the next thing after that was, well, what's next? And I was like, okay, now we need green grass. Now we got to do that next step. So, and they would show up no clubs. I didn't really care what they look like for a dress. Like, I know I respect that there is a dress code, but that wasn't the case. It was the case of like, I just want them to experience golf and whether they and be comfortable in what they're wearing. So that's kind of how the Birdies was formed. So then I started creating these event nights where I would block the end of the tee sheet so that we didn't have that pressure as a newbie, like you're really slow, somebody's on my back, this guy's walking up telling us that you need to do this and your cart's not in the right place or you're going the wrong way. So I decided, hey, why don't I build this event space, make it fun, add a theme, like something that you wear. Like so we had a Barbie theme and they just did a grunge theme.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they show up because we want to have an experience. And then I provided myself and usually another professional, my good friend Carrie Moffat, she would come out and we go around and help the girls. We're very like open and inviting. And I just wanted them to make mistakes so that we could kind of just learn from them and then keep them going. And then they have these kind of social connections to other women that now they're like, hey, I can go with these three girls that I just met because they're at the same level. And we're going to learn how to book a tee time and we're going to get ourselves out on the golf course because they've had an experience that provided an opportunity for them to start moving forward. So,
And once you get that first experience on the golf course, and you start, it's progression. It's step by step, like you say about
yeah,
the attire or the golf clubs. Like that comes with more experience in the golf sphere. Like the more times you go to the course, the easier it is to pick up on these nuances that are in the game. That's at least that's what I found for myself. Because
yeah,
again, first when we started, like I remember, like we've only started been in this golf sphere now for 3 years.
mm-hmm.
Before that, I probably played, maybe went to a golf course maybe a dozen times in my life, and that's only after I moved here to Alberta. I'm originally from the Rock, and at my
Oh,
age when I was growing up, there were no golf courses on the Rock. It was
right.
non-existent. So when I got here, I was like, oh, I want to try this golf thing, and I remember even the first time I went, it wasn't a positive like because again, you're going to this sphere that you've never been to. I kind of get that
Yeah,
as intimidating. It's like, well, I've never been around a golf course ever. So when I'm done on the first hole, how do I find the second tee, right? Like
yeah,
even something
exactly.
as minor as that is intimidating for even
Yeah,
somebody going to a golf course for the first time and playing, going, I know nothing about this. It's a Saturday at around noon. Everybody's here, and I'm holding the process up, right? But
yeah. And you're
um,
like, I'm just trying to hit this little white ball forward. And then like talk about like I mean, the levels of golf and what's even in your golf bag. Like you got a putter. We all know what that is. And we know what the driver is, but what are all these other things for?
right,
And they don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
where to start and nobody's told them, but they want to learn. So, and then it's just really guiding.
And I
And I
think,
think
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I think women, or for me anyways, I enjoy having a friend come with me to a new experience. There's a lot of women that can just walk into an experience on their own, but it's nice to have those connections already. So you kind of have that, I don't know, system in place. And then when you see people that are in similar stages, then it makes it so much easier to connect. And that's what Birdies has created, this community of connection
That's
and
awesome
support.
because,
Yeah.
and again, the more of those type of what you're doing with birdies, the more of that we have, the more females we get into the sphere. I mean, again, golf is just that sport you can just be involved in for the rest of your days.
Yeah.
And just that alone is like, yeah, you could put a lot of time into this
Yeah.
game, and again, the time you put into it, the reward you get back is equally as positive, right? At least in my
Yeah.
opinion, from what I see, right? Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
again, from moving from a smaller course that's like 4,000 yards to a course that's like 6,400
Yeah.
yards, and yeah, you can still get around it. Like again,
Yeah.
yesterday my fairway to greens were pretty good. My putting was good. My short game again left a lot to be desired. But
Yeah.
when we're done this podcast now
Hmm.
today, I'm doing my first range session of the year. I'm like, I saw
Oh,
something.
nice.
I
Good for
saw some
you.
things yesterday that I was not happy with. So,
Yeah.
my wife goes to work this afternoon. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm heading to the driving range for an
You're
hour,
like,
hour and a half. I got to get that. I got to get some work
good.
in with those short irons. So,
Yeah.
and that's what you can do. Like, yeah,
Yep.
just
Yeah.
go hang out at the range for a
Go
couple
and
hours. It's such a great for me now, and the people that are around me. It's such a great just when you have some spare time, instead of
hmm
just sitting home watching TV, I'm going to go to the range for a couple hours. And I
yeah.
think the more people you get involved, like what you're doing with birdies, they're going to be on that same road. It's like, well, you know what? I'm going to the range because
Yeah.
I remember what Courtney said about this, and I'm going to go
Yeah.
try that, and I'm going to spend an
Yeah.
hour doing it, right? And I'll
Yeah.
just go
And it's
spend an hour on a putting green because that's a different
yeah.
animal as well, right?
Oh yeah. My biggest like takeaway from all of this and what makes me the happiest is I have in my office, it's like a fishbowl, so I get to see everything going past me. And it makes me extremely happy to see four women that have just started the game book their foursome and they're walking to the first tee.
Yeah,
And then I'm just like, there they go. That's four new people into the game. And then I did get this one text from one of my clients and she sent me a picture. I think she was in, I think Hawaii with her husband. And she screenshotted it with the Birdies hat. And she's like, because of you, I get to experience this with my partner. And I'm thankful for this every day because now I get to appreciate golf and like the beauty of it and get to travel. And I also get to connect. So
yeah. That
I
in
feel
itself
good
is
about that.
is
Yeah.
uber rewarding, right?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting the goosebumps. Yeah.
And the
It's
same
fun.
thing, like and those type of experience for you in that sphere are just going to keep going as well, right? It's
Yeah.
and you look forward to that. That's because that's a reward for
Yeah.
sure, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, we've talked about your golf, our golf. So
Yeah.
so let's get to the point now. So, what's Courtney Campbell rocking in the bag? Let's get into some gear geek stuff.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
what are you rocking in the bag now? And just give us a little bit of insight into the brands that you like.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's
So
go. Let's hear it.
are you ready? So I'm Callaway.
Okay.
I'm a Callaway gal. I've been for a while. So driver is the Paradigm AI Smoke. So that's in the bag. And then my irons are the Apex Pro Cavity Back, the 2024s. And then so it's pretty much progresses all Callaway through the Jaws Raw wedges. And then my putter, which I probably should be using a brand new putter, but it's an old Odyssey. It's the White Hot #7, the big head, and it has a super stroke grip on it. And I just used Quintec with the guys at Genuine Golf, and they just dialed my putter in, and I absolutely love it. And I probably should take it out and use some new technology, but when you love something so much, that's where I go. So
Nice. That's cool.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
putters for me. I mean, I think around the office here, I think I'm rocking maybe
You gotta look at your bags. Yeah.
13 putters, maybe.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But so the whole putter thing. So I'm using an Odyssey White Hot #5
Okay.
with super stroke grip.
Yeah.
I traded a TaylorMade burner driver to get this thing.
Oh, nice.
So I look. Putting is yesterday. My putting was it's something different. I wasn't missing right around the 10-foot area, so I was dropping a lot
Nice.
yesterday. So that was
Yeah.
one of my better days. But the past 3 years, I've gone through a lot of putters because for me, more than what the putter does, aesthetically looking down at the putter, you really have to like what you're looking at,
You do. Yeah.
right?
100%.
It's
Yeah.
that mental
Yeah.
mental backstop that you
Something
have.
back there.
It's like
I think
it's
with
like
all clubs, like even irons, like I can't look. They sent me the wrong set, and I kept looking down at it, and I'm like, this doesn't look good. I need
right,
to switch this out.
and then that's clicked right
Yeah.
in your head that no, I'm
Oh,
not
then it's
comfortable with
like,
this.
it's
And
like
then
I'm
yeah,
going all
you
over
may
the
as well
place.
just take
Yeah.
that and just throw it in the creek. But I
Yeah.
found a putter style like the Half Moon style that I really liked, and
Nice.
I used a Nike last year, and
Okay.
I was like, yeah, this is a good putter, but I had actually borrowed that putter. It's still here, but
Oh. So
just in case he wants to take it back at any point in time, I had to find something right along the same lines.
yeah.
So I got this Odyssey #5 White Hot and super stroke grip, and it's got the synthetic insert in the face. And I
Okay.
am really starting to like looking down at that, and I'm really starting to
Yeah.
like. And again, So now that I really like looking down at it, now my putting's starting to come along because now the confidence is starting
Good.
to get there, right?
Good.
You look down and you go,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I can make this, no problem. And
Yeah.
even if you
Good.
don't make it, it's like, nah, that's just that one. That's
Hmm.
putting is a different animal. And my buddy
Yeah.
Chris, who is without argument the best putter out of our entire like 8, 12 guy crew. Um,
Yeah.
he wins a lot just through putting. So
Yes.
I got to get my putting game up to at least.
That relationship, with your putter is one that every golfer should form and like really work on because that's the thing that's giving you the most strokes. So
But I will
if you can
say
have,
his putting, his level of putting going up, the amount of time he puts into putting, that's
yeah,
his reward because he putts
yeah,
at home. He'll spend an hour on a putting green, just ball after
right,
ball after ball after ball. Like he'll just that,
yeah,
and you can. So I see that progress. Now for
yeah,
me, so Chris got fitted for his Mizuno iron clubs last year, so he's fitted for his entire bag from driver all the way down to putter.
okay,
I haven't done that yet, and now I'm. It's in my head that I want to go get a fitting, but that
hmm,
part of the game as well to me is kind of intimidating as well because now you have to expose yourself
yes,
right
yeah,
to somebody and
to,
say,
to someone.
this is what I do. Can you make this better?
Yeah,
Right?
but what a like great opportunity for you to show them like your misses so that they can help redirect what's going to be better for fitted for you.
Yeah,
So,
that's is that something you do with the people that are involved with birdies as well? Say, hey, you know what, you can get into this game at this
yeah,
level, but when you get to a point where you say, okay, this is my game for however many years, now this
yeah,
is the next step. You go get your fitting to make sure your clubs are
yes,
what you need. Yeah,
yeah, 100%. Like they'll show up with grandma's irons from 20 years ago. And I will never go and sell them clubs right away because their tool is them, essentially. They need to be fitted with the right ways to swing the club and how to hold it and then making contact. So that contact awareness and creating that relationship between seeing like ball flight and understanding what that is and how their body works is how I kind of lead my lessons. Then those people that I see, the girls or the women, sorry, that walk past my office that are playing more and they're saying, hey, I'm like scoring pretty well. And I don't really like these irons anymore. What's the next step? Then I'll send them away to go get fitted. And so then they come back and they go, oh my God, I love these. And I'm like, perfect. And it's something special to them. So yeah, it's like what you said. It's like all this progression. That'd be kind of another step for you is to see what fits to you properly for your swing. And then yeah, let the rep and the tech do their thing because they'll definitely help you.
yeah, that's not too far away for me. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's going to be relatively soon to get fitted for a set of irons here, and
good.
I'm rocking Wilson D7 irons in the bag right now.
Nice.
And that was the
Yeah.
first set of irons I ever bought new, but I bought them
Yeah.
online, stock off the shelf, right? So over the last few years, I've learned
Excuse
how to
me.
hit these things, right? Because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the length is not set for me, but
Oh yeah. I remember playing with like what my grandpa gave me when I started at like 12, 12-year-old girl, Sandy Lyle Mizuno blades.
yeah, yeah.
And that's what I was bunting around the golf course with like a knockoff Callaway, like Big Bertha. And then when I progressed, it was the same thing. I got those Ping I3 and I was like in heaven. I was like, these are built for me. Like, how cool is this?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, Courtney. Well, I think I've taken up
yeah,
enough of your time. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this with me. Your time is valuable, and I appreciate you coming and spending some of it with us. So let's stay in touch, and
yeah,
you know, this was a lot of fun, and I think we could
yeah. It
do
was a
this
lot of
again
fun.
sometime
Yeah.
down the
Thanks
road.
for having me.
We'll get together and do this again sometime.
Oh yeah, I can swap lots of golf stories for you. Yeah. Love
Yeah,
to.
I want
Thank
to.
you so much.
You bet.